Back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today, where there's one last thing to do, Pickle, and that is to unveil the Week 4 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press statewide Texas high school football rankings. It's compiled by the Dave Campbell's Texas football staff. We've published the most respected Texas high school football rankings for decades, and we are the official rankings provider of the Associated Press. You can find complete rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings. Let's not wait anymore, Pickle. Let's check out the Class 6A rankings, where 5 new teams enter the rankings in week number 4, all down at the bottom. 4 teams crash out of the rankings. Number 9, Prosper, crashes out of the rankings. Number 13, Klein Collins. Number 22, Bridgeland. Number 23, Spring Westfield. Number 24, Highland Park. All find their way out of the rankings. As a result, there's a few move-ups. Biggest mover here is Midland Legacy, an impressive win over Abilene. They jumped 5 spots up from number 25 to number 20. But the 5 new teams, number 21, Dickinson back into the rankings with a big win over Pasadena Adobe. Willis enters the rankings for the first time at number 22 after their win over New Caney to move to 3-0. The aforementioned San Antonio Reagan is the number 23 ranked team in Class 6A entering week 4. Tomball Memorial is in the rankings for the first time at 3-0 with a 36-3 win over Aldine Eisenhower. And Sheldon C.E. King, big winners over Pearland. That earns them the number 25 spot in the Class 6A rankings. The top 5 unchanged: Duncanville, Galena Park North Shore, DeSoto, Austin Westlake, and Austin Vandergrift are your top 5 teams in Class 6A. On to 5A, Pickle. In 5A Division 1, the top 5 unchanged: Longview, Arledo, Longview, Mansfield, Timberview, Port Arthur Memorial, and Fulshear. We did have 2 teams leave the rankings here. Number 6, Frisco Reedy drops out after their heartbreaking loss to Frisco Lone Star, who vaults back into the rankings there at number 10. And number 9, Abilene crashes out after losing to Midland Legacy. That nudges everyone up a spot. Denton Ryan up to 6, Smithson Valley up to 7. Red Oak enters the rankings for the first time with their win over Lake Belton, a thriller. They win it, and they are up to 3-0 and number 8. PSJ North nudges up a spot to number 9, and Frisco Lone Star, as we mentioned, back into the rankings at number 10 with their heart-stopping win over Frisco Reedy. 5A Division 2 now. Number 2, South Oak Cliff crashes out of the rankings with their lopsided loss to DeSoto, as does number 5, Lovejoy, with their loss to North Crowley. Everyone moves up. Fort Bend Marshall up to number 2 in the rankings. Frisco Emerson, an impressive kind of wild back-and-forth win over Frisco Panther Creek. They're up to number 3. Montgomery Lake Creek up 2 spots to number 4. Midlothian Heritage up 2 spots. Texas High up 2 spots. Port Neches Groves up 2 spots. Liberty Hill up 2 spots. And there are 2 new teams into the rankings. At number 9, the Wichita Falls Rider Raiders enter the rankings for the first time with their big win over Lubbock Coronado. They are at number 9. And into the rankings for the first time, G-Port, the Gregory Portland Wildcats, into the rankings at number 10 with their big win over Victoria East to move to 3-0. On to 4A we go, where 4A Division 1, there is literally nothing to say. All 10 of the teams either won or, in the case of Anna, were idle. Everyone stays exactly the same. Your top 5 unchanged: Tyler, Chapel Hill, Anna, China Spring, Bernie, and Salina. Keep an eye on Anna versus Salina this week. That will be fun. 4A Division 2, similarly chalky for the most part. Carthage, Silsbee, Pleasant Grove, Cuero, and Wimberley are your top 5. They remain the same. Hampshire Fannett moves up a spot with their win over Cold Spring Oakhurst. Graham moves up a spot with their win over Glen Rose. It was number 8 Jasper who lost and crashed out of the rankings. And in their place, Gilmer re-enters the rankings by getting in the win column with a 43-40 win over a good Paris squad. To 3A we go. 3A Division 1 had to do a little bit of facelift. Brock loses to Wimberley to drop to 1 and 2. We dropped them 1 spot from number 2 to number 3 as a result. Columbus vaults all the way up from number 4 to number 2. Malakoff moves up a spot with their win over Salado. Hitchcock also up a spot. Winsboro up a spot. Paradise up a spot. Jimnet up a spot. Edna loses in double overtime to Refugio by a point. We dropped them from number 3 to number 6. To number 9. 6 spots all the way down to number 9, but keep them in. Yoakum loses a 1-score game to a 4A Division 2 state-ranked Cuero squad. We think that's good enough to keep them at number 10 for now. 3A Division 2, top 5 entirely unchanged: Canadian, Gunner, Tidehaven, Wall, and Hooks. That is despite Wall and Hooks losing to bigger teams. Wall lost 17-14 to Jim Ned. Hooks lost 21-13 to Winsboro. Both larger than them, both one-score games, and quite frankly, I don't know if there was anybody who did anything to really warrant them getting vaulted over them. Newton was idle. They're still 1-0 on the year. Comanche up 2 spots with a win over Early. Dangerfield, a one-score loss at Timpson. We keep them the same at number 8. Troop up a spot to number 9 with their win over Buffalo. It was number 6 Harmony who crashed out of the rankings. As a result, that opens up a spot for Poth to re-enter the rankings with a dominant win over Shiner. Poth now 2-1 on the year. To 2A we go. 2A was interesting. And it really centers around one team because there's only one team in the top 10 that lost, and it was Toller. Toller lost to Dallas Christian 37-6. It's hard to know what to do with that. That's a state-ranked private school team, as you'll see here in a moment. We dropped them from number 3 to number 5. We still believe in Toller. Got a big game coming up here this week. Excited to see if they can bounce back. Toller will be playing. I knew this. Toller is playing. No, that's the wrong spreadsheet, dum-dum. Toller is playing Comanche. An opportunity to get right back into it. This is a wait-and-see moment for them, but as a result, we dropped them to number 5. Centerville and Hawley each nudge up a spot to number 3 and number 4, respectively. On to 2A Division 2, the top 6 unchanged. Albany, Mart, New Home, Collinsville, Wellington, and Chilton. Number 8, Granger, and number 9, Fall City crash out of the rankings. Sunray moves up 3 spots to number 7. Lovelady enters the rankings for the first time at number 8 with a dominant win over Iola. They are now 3-0. Wink loses to Alpine 19-18. As a bigger than them, that school is bigger than them. And it was a 1-point game. I believe it was on the road too. We are inclined to give them a little bit of a break. They dropped 2 spots to number 9, but hang on to a spot in the rankings. And re-entering the rankings at number 10, the Bremont Tigers, who got back on the good foot with a win over Grapeland to move to 2-1 on the year. Into the 6-man ranks we go. We knew there was going to be movement because there were so many top 10 matchups in 1A Division 1. And as a result, the top 4, it actually held pretty much to chalk. Knox City beat May. Westbrook beat Rankin. Westbrook was very dominant in their win over Rankin, but they lost head-to-head to Knox City. As a result, they have to stay number 4. Jonesboro moves up 2 spots by beating Austin St. Stephen's in emphatic fashion. Rankin drops a spot with their loss to Westbrook. Happy up a spot with their win over Spring Lake Earth. That drops of Spring Lake Earth 1 spot to number 10. May drops 2 spots with their 50-point loss to Knox City. Whiteface moves up a spot with their win over Valley. It's the same 10 teams, just jumbled around there at the bottom to reflect this most recent group of results. To 1A Division 2 we go, where there's only one change. Whit Herald does beat Silverton 44-39, but Richland Springs has looked more impressive over the course of this. As a result, we flip-flop them. Richland Springs moves up a spot to number 7. Whit Herald drops a spot to number 8. The rest of it unchanged. Your top 5 still. Benjamin, Oglesby, Jayton, Cherokee, and Newcastle. Big game this week, by the way. Newcastle is playing Jonesboro. It'll be a big game. Finally, the private school ranks we go. The 11-man ranks entirely unchanged. Houston St. Thomas and Austin Regents were idle. They keep their spots. Dallas Christian, the aforementioned Dallas Christian, holds on to their spot at number 3. Lubbock Christian and Bel Air Episcopal, both big winners. They are number 4 and number 5, respectively. And to the private school 6-man ranks, there is a newcomer. Abilene Christian loses to Benjamin and crashes out of the top 5. For Pasadena First Baptist, an impressive win over Austin Veritas. Fourth Covenant Classical now gets a chance at Austin Veritas this week. Austin Hill Country moves up a spot with their win over Fredericksburg Heritage. Conroe Covenant up a spot to number 4. And new to the rankings, Bastrop Tribe Consolidated, big winners over Waco Syntex. They are now the number 5 team in the private school 6-man rankings. So there you have it. Your Week 4, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associates Press, Texas High School Football State Rankings. You can find the complete rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings. Hey, thanks for watching this clip here on YouTube. If you like this kind of stuff and you want more of it, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can watch us live every weekday at noon at texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, or here on YouTube. And if you want more of the best coverage of football in the state of Texas, check out texasfootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at texasfootball.com/subscribe.